Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. How are you all doing today? How has your week finished out? I would love to hear from you in the comments under the video if you do feel guided to share any thoughts that you've been having, any experiences you've been having this week. I really love that co-creative element to our virtual community here. So a huge thank you to all of you who are bringing your own powerful energy to this reading today and assisting in co-manifesting all of the messages and pieces of information that come through. So I'm going to start today by shuffling the Energy Oracle cards deck, but right before I started recording, I received a small download for someone. Well, I should say it's small in terms of being a short sentence, but it could hold some kind of powerful value for someone listening. And this download is you're going to do it, but you're going to do it in your own way. So, of course, this could apply very differently from one person to the next, but the general idea I'm getting from this download is that you are creating, manifesting, attracting, building something in the physical world. And this might be something that many others are also aiming towards or also working towards as well. But the thing you need to understand about the way in which you are going to manifest this thing, whatever that is for you, is that you are going to be going about manifesting it in a very unique way, in a way that is maybe unconventional and specifically suited to a unique set of skills and abilities that you personally have. Because something I'm getting about your energy is that you are someone who does tend to live your life in a very unconventional manner. And you may have in the past tried to operate or manifest those dreams or goals in the same way that society was telling you to do it or that other people were telling you to do it. And you may have found yourself frustrated or feeling even as though something was wrong with you because society's formulas or other people's strategies weren't working for you. And if this is the case for you, you have to understand that you are energetically very different from most people on this planet. And this actually means that you have an ability to manifest very quickly. You are also someone who is extremely energetically sensitive and in tune with the cosmos, with the universe, with the energy of other people around you. And because of this heightened sensitivity and these spiritual gifts essentially that you are born with, this also means, kind of on the other side of that coin, that you have to operate in a different manner because certain plans or strategies or ways of doing things taught to us by society simply were not curated for someone who has a heightened level of energetic sensitivity and these accompanying spiritual gifts like you have. Now, the beautiful thing about this as well is that in doing things in your own way, in this unconventional way, you are actually paving pathways for others who may have been feeling lost because they themselves were unconsciously spiritually gifted or unconsciously energetically sensitive, meaning they just assumed that something was wrong with them because they weren't able to operate in the way society was telling them to, when in actuality they had a specific set of spiritual gifts and abilities that society generally simply did not understand. So you might find yourself in that story, meaning that could be what a past version of you lived through, but now you've come into this place of empowerment and self-cognizance where you are more consciously aware of your true spiritual nature and how your true spiritual nature is a gift and not a burden. Maybe that's a message someone needed to know as well, that your true nature is actually a blessing and a gift, and it's not an issue, a problem, or a burden. It's all about learning how to work with your natural energy and ignoring how society has told you quote unquote have to go about doing things in your life. And I feel that if you've gravitated towards this reading today and this is resonating so far, you are most likely someone who has already been on that journey of really learning to draw upon your unique set of gifts and abilities without paying any mind to how that might look externally to others. So, very interesting place to start the reading. I wasn't expecting it to start there. Now, of course, I also want to mention that if you have any personal questions, intentions, anything you'd like answered in the reading, it can be helpful for you to clearly set those intentions in some way, whether that is syncing them in your mind, visualizing them, speaking them aloud, writing them down, writing them in the comments section, whatever feels good to you. These intentions, even if they are just spoken to yourself or thought in your mind, can have a powerful effect on co-creating the messages here. Also, if you do want to manifest more messages specifically tailored to you, both in this reading and in future readings, I do recommend subscribing to the channel because this is a form of energetic transference that does tend to allow me to pick up more easily on your energy, both here in this reading and in future reading videos as well. Okay, so the first card to come out here is the throat chakra in the upright position. So, as with all of the energies that come through these readings, these could apply internally to something happening within you. They also could apply externally. So there might be a person, thing, or situation experiencing this message or dynamic that is somehow connected to you in the quantum realm or energetically. So at the end of the day, it's always your intuition guiding you correctly here. So I always recommend using your intuition above all else to determine which messages are for you and which might be meant for others. But what I'm getting, I heard throat chakra activation. So, of course, recently in the collective here, we've been going through a lot of throat chakra activations, meaning you've been really empowered and strengthened when it comes to authentically sharing your voice or sharing yourself with the world. And this has been a long haul initiation around the throat chakra that for many of you listening may have actually began many, many years ago even, but it's reaching this kind of pinnacle where it's starting to spill over, so to speak, into the physical realm, meaning all of this work that you've been doing internally on your throat chakra, whether that's been happening subconsciously, automatically, or something that you've been consciously training yourself to do, peeling back the layers, sharing more of your authentic self, being more bold and confident in speaking your truth or creating something in the world, whether it's happened consciously or subconsciously or possibly a combination of both, it's reaching this point where that energy you've opened up in the throat chakra is really starting to spill over into the physical realm. So if you felt any pull or desire to create, to communicate more with others, to reach out to certain people, to build out more of a physical community or a social circle, this actually can be a byproduct of this spillover of healed throat chakra energy, so to speak. It's like you reach this tipping point where you have so expanded your throat chakra that you can't help but want to share that energy with others, whether that's through something you are saying, doing, creating in the world, or people that you are connecting with via that kind of authentic communication. So what else can I channel? Oh, we did get, by the way, the garden and the gate here as well. And I'm hearing you will be protected in this. You will be divinely protected in this. So there might be some fears coming up as you are opening up in this new way, sharing your authentic self or your throat chakra energy with the world. I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to stay on track. I'm not sure what that means, but that might be relevant to someone specifically. And what I'm hearing is it's almost like this energy is actively keeping you on a particular track. So whenever you might start to kind of veer off to one side or the other, it's almost like this divine energy comes in to keep you realigned with something. And I'm hearing trust that guidance, trust that realignment. So if there's something that just feels like it keeps pulling you back to it, I'm getting that cliche saying that when it's your calling, it will keep calling you. So maybe for some of you, this is related to your life purpose or part of your spiritual mission here on earth. And there's something that beyond all logic and reason just keeps pulling you back into it. And you can't understand why you are always feeling the passionate pull back to this thing, even when you try to kind of veer off away from it because maybe logically it doesn't fully make sense. But I'm hearing to trust what you're being perpetually pulled back to in a passionate way, what you're constantly being realigned with, almost on this kind of divine level here. If something keeps coming back up in your mind, in your energy, in your reality, month after month, year after year, there's some kind of reason for it. It plays some kind of role in your larger spiritual purpose here on earth. And the logical mind is never going to be able to, quote unquote, figure that out from that logical level because it's not logical, it's soulful. It's meant to be felt rather than understood. And here we have attachment reversed and cornucopia upright. So whatever it is that you're manifesting in this unconventional way or in your own unique way in your life, I feel that the manifestation of this thing is requiring you to release certain heavy attachments. I'm hearing attachments to outcome. So one of these heavy energies or attachments being released may be the attachment to attachment itself, meaning the attachment to the need to control. And interesting. I'm going to channel more about this. Can I get more about this attachment about around control being released? Okay, we have caring connections in the reverse position, and I am going to pull a card from the Rose Oracle here. I haven't pulled a lot from this deck recently, but I'm really feeling guided to it. So there's something here around fear of others not understanding you, others not supporting you, not getting what you're doing or why, or even something that you're doing, possibly pushing other people away. Interesting. I'm going to get more on this, but what else can I channel here from the Rose Oracle? Whatever you're doing, it's triggering reactions from people. So whether this is something you're creating, something you're manifesting, the way you're showing up in the world, but I'm hearing the right people, the ones who are really aligned with you in an authentic and mutually supportive way, will always love you in your power. They will admire you when you are putting yourself out there and sharing your voice, sharing your truth. I'm hearing it always looks crazy until it's done. So maybe there is some fear of judgment or criticism, fear of looking too bold or looking too confident or too authentic. But that's exactly where your power lies, your confidence in. I'm hearing there's a confident softness about you that whatever you're doing, whether it's the way you're showing up in friendships, relationships, in life generally, or something that you are specifically creating in the world, it's like this confident softness. So you're sharing this soft, raw, real, authentic, emotional part of yourself, but you're doing it with a confidence. And that is actually going to really trigger certain individuals who are hiding those raw, authentic parts of themselves, or who are not going after their own dreams or goals in life, because when they see you doing that, it's going to trigger really their own highest potential version of self that is calling them towards it. And so the triggered reaction they're feeling against you is really them trying to avoid or run from that higher part of themselves that is calling them to merge more into it, calling them into their own purpose, or to share themselves in a more real, authentic way in the world. Now, I do have the card Rapture. This card says sensuality, love, devotion, romance, ecstasy, pleasure. And I'm really curious what the Rose Oracle Guidebook has to say here. So let's read from the guidebook here. I'm just going to be flipping to the page. So it says, Flora is the ancient Roman goddess of spring and flowers. In one myth, she was struck by Cupid's arrow and, overwhelmed by love and completely breathless in a moment of rapture, she called for Eros. However, the sound Ros came out of her mouth instead, so Rose became another word for Eros, and it also became a symbol for love, beauty, and passion. Many patriarchal religions have placed a shameful cloak around sensuality, pleasure, ecstasy, rapture, and intimacy. One of the most natural, pleasurable parts of life has become conditional and judged. The Rose wants us to heal from this and to remember that the expression of desire can be some of the most sacred, miraculous things about being a human on earth. Interesting. So I feel that this is the healing energy coming up to heal this attachment to criticism or judgment. The antidote, in a sense, to this heavy energy around caring how other people are going to perceive you or judge you or react to you, the antidote to that seems to be the activation of this sacral chakra energy, staying fully grounded and rooted in the present. I'm hearing focused on the day. So maybe there's a part of your mind kind of running away with, how are people going to react to this in the future? How is this going to affect my relationships with others in the long run? What is going to happen with this in the long term? But I'm hearing there is only the now. The now is the portal to every possible timeline, every possible dimension, manifestation, experience. And the more that we can release attachments to the past or the future, the more fully we are present in that all-powerful now moment, and therefore the more empowered we are to manifest, to kind of jump through those now moment doorways into the timelines that we desire to experience. I'm hearing the past and the future are only distractions from the power of the now moment. So it's interesting we're getting so much about time, so much about the past and the future here. So I'm going to be reshuffling and seeing what else can I channel about either the power of the now moment or these past and future energies. We do have Angel of Strength and Financial Constraints reversed. Also anxiety reversed and hostilities reversed. So there's a few different messages coming through here. One is around releasing lack and limitation mentalities. So we might be channeling into another one of those kind of so-called heavier energies that are being released to allow you to step into what my guides are calling your wish fulfillment timeline even more closely. And so there seems to be this dynamic of, rather than latching on to feelings of lack or limitation or triggered fears that come up and reacting to them, healing them energetically and releasing them from the inside out as they come up. I'm hearing blessing the triggers. So when something comes up internally, don't take it as truth, is what one of the guides here is saying, but heal it from within yourself. Ask yourself, where is this point of fear or limitation or lack mentality coming from? And how can I shift this from the inside out to step into a more free, abundant, clear mindset and stay in that position of strength and confidence as I do that angel of strength in the upright position? I'm just keep hearing like analyzing the triggers rather than reacting to them. And I do feel, especially around this supermoon and lunar eclipse that we just experienced, that for some of you listening, there may have actually been some triggers that came up emotionally or energetically, maybe even unexpectedly around this time. And I'm just getting, rather than taking that and reacting to it or turning it internally in the form of self-criticism or self-judgment, really taking that as an opportunity to shift that energy from the inside out and therefore bring yourself to an even greater place of confidence and empowerment along this beautiful journey that you are on. So with anxiety reversed and hostilities reversed, there's also something about, I'm hearing fear is always a lie. So what I'm getting from that is, for someone listening here, you might have certain fears or anxieties specifically that were triggered even around this full moon and the intense astrological experiences we've been having recently. And I feel that part of your journey at this time is to keep moving forward confidently and releasing those fears as they come up. I'm hearing a baseline of peace provides a foundation that supports the manifestation of your dreams. So whenever something comes up that seems to kind of shake that feeling of peace, again, rather than reacting to that trigger, it's an opportunity to actually shift the energy around it and strengthen your sense of inner peace and self-confidence even further through shifting that energy. Very interesting messages coming up here. Of course, as I always say, only take from these readings what is really connecting with you in a personal and intuitive way, because I know that we're channeling into many different threads of energy here, but I'll also say that we have the Happy Family card in the reverse position. So I feel that this journey of sharing your authentic self, possibly manifesting some kind of goal, dream, or vision, I feel that this, for someone listening, has required you to break something off in the past. This may have required you to break off a long-term relationship, to separate from a certain group of people, to really change or alter your community, your social dynamic, your relationship dynamic, because whatever that dynamic was seemed to be almost like diluting your authentic self or holding you back in some sense, restricting you, entrapping you in a way from really being able to freely express with an open throat chakra. And so I'm feeling, for someone listening here, you've had to be alone for a period of time. Maybe you went through this hermit mode where there were a lot of uncertainties around whether you would ever be able to attract in those long-term supportive relationships and that feeling of community again, whether that was in terms of a romantic relationship, friendships, or just community in general. But here we have door to value in the upright position. So what I'm getting here is that because you've had the courage to separate yourself from, maybe it was a particular connection or multiple connections, friendships, etc., in your life that were not connecting with you from that authentic space, you are now able to attract connections that value you to a much higher degree for who you really are. It's almost like this has created this space for connections that truly adore and value and support you in the way that you really have always desired and always deserved. And specifically, I am seeing with man holding a coin upright, the sun card upright, and the sacral chakra. There is a connection here. This could be with a masculine energy, but of course, we all have masculine and feminine energy internally. So this is not connected to any specific gender. This person might just be leaning more into their masculine. But I see this person, this could be a collaborator, a friend, a particular romantic person coming into your life or who has recently come into your life. This person connects with you in that so-called new beginning energy. They seem to really align with you when you are in your independence, power, and confidence, but also with the sacral chakra energy coming up here. This is someone who seems to align and connect with you when you are staying fully present in the moment, when you are in flow, when you are in this kind of heightened creative state of being, and not worried about the past or over strategizing into the future. It's almost like the only way to connect or stay aligned with this person seems to be staying fully present with yourself and fully involved emotionally and energetically in this new beginning, this new phase of your life that you're shifting into without looking back heavily on the past. And it seems like whenever you do drift into thinking a lot, dwelling on the past, or over trying to plan into the future, you might feel like there's kind of energetic interference in this connection, almost like the two of you are kind of being disconnected a bit. And again, that's because the now moment and this new phase you're stepping into is the portal through which you are connecting with this person, energy, or opportunity. Now, for some of you, this could be an internal energy of self-structure and self-empowerment and self-confidence that you are connecting with. It could be that kind of internal masculine energy here. But in either case, you will notice that you connect best with this energy when you are fully, I'm hearing, staying in the sun, staying in the light. And of course, that's metaphoric, meaning when you are allowing yourself to bask in this beautiful new energy that you are stepping into without overthinking it. So I'm going to be reshuffling the cards here. Is there anything else I can channel either about that specific person or energy or about anyone else coming through here? Once again, we have financial constraints in the reverse position. This is sitting on the third eye chakra though. So I feel as though if you've had certain points of anxiety or limitation or lack mentality be triggered completely out of the blue recently, especially this week as of when you are finding or aligning with this video, this might actually be happening almost on like a divine level, meaning these points of fear or limitation have been coming up to the surface to allow you to address them and shift them in order to open new doors. Now, specifically, we do have door to romance. So some of the doors that might be opening up could be coming around love, romance, connection. This doesn't have to be someone completely new for you. If you are in a relationship happily, then this could be a deepening and further harmonizing of that connection or relationship. This also could be new romantic opportunities if you are single or dating, or someone from your past coming back into your life. So take that however it's connecting. This may even be social or community forms of love besides the romantic kind. But I'm getting that releasing these feelings of fear that seem connected to like this lack or limitation mentality seem to open doors to all kinds of new love, again, either romantic or in other forms in your life. And specifically soul love with door to spirit upright, these are connections that are authentic, soulful, and seem to relate to you on a deeper spiritual level. I'm also picking up with cornucopia upright that releasing these points of lack or shifting the energy around these things seems to be amplifying your manifestation power and allowing you to align and manifest much more quickly the things that you've been working towards or desiring. But again, the key here is to really bring it full circle that the way you are manifesting these things is completely in your own unique way. And this also means that it may not make sense to a lot of onlookers, people around you, people who see what you're doing. I'm also hearing it's very comprehensive. So I'm just seeing like this web of maybe you have many, many different aspects and areas of your life that you're manifesting in, and you wonder, can I do all of these things at once? Multi-manifesting possibly. But I'm getting this message that your way of manifesting is much less tunnel visioned and much more holistic and comprehensive, because those kinds of holistic and comprehensive ways of approaching manifestation are much more aligned with the 5D energetic states of being that you've been firmly in for a while now. So really, I'm hearing from some perspective that tunnel visioned way of manifesting, just singularly focusing and drilling in on one aspect or one area of your life to the neglect of all the others, really no longer works when you have shifted into more of fifth dimensional energetic states of being. Really, the only way to effectively manifest from that 5D level is by approaching things comprehensively and holistically. So not only are you on the right track there, but it's really the only way, given your current state of spiritual evolution, that you can effectively manifest in your life. So this has been you following your intuition and approaching things in your life much more holistically and comprehensively than most people are able to understand who are more in that 3D state of being. So, wow, amazing messages coming through today's reading. Thank you to all of you who have been co-creating all of the messages here. And if you do have any thoughts or comments of your own, maybe something that you related to in the reading, I would love to hear from you in the comments underneath the video. I am going to be continuing this reading next onto Patreon. So if you would like to access the extended version of this reading, where we will be diving deeper into all the messages, also scanning your aura, channeling into anyone or anything that might be connecting with you energetically at this time, and of course, channeling any other messages that want to come through. The link to that extended reading is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. Otherwise, I'm going to close this first reading here with a Rumi Oracle message. So what is one final message for all of the beautiful souls listening here? So we actually have the cards Sacred Union and the Angel Rasbar. So really what I'm getting is a protected sacred union, some kind of union or connection that is highly protected and being kept on track. But just like with your life generally, it seems to be unfolding in its own unique, unconventional way that others may not understand or might even judge. So I feel we might be discussing this sacred union more in the extended Patreon reading. But for the closure of this reading, I'm just going to read a bit from the guidebook here. So the guidebook here says, only the oneness of love and the lover is eternal. Surrender your heart into this union, for all else in this world is momentary. Rumi. Stupefied with bliss, I become without thought. There is no grief in that loss. I gladly surrender my intelligence in favor of this mindlessness. It is ecstasy, rapture. The sweetness of the union so sacred overwhelms my senses. The lover and the beloved are my world. Nothing else exists except this love, this unity of divine masculine and feminine, and the fresh new universe that shall be born from their sacred conjoining. This oracle comes as a portent, a sign of that which is to come, and also as a confirmation of your spiritual journey thus far. You have been working hard to surrender attachment to plans and how you think things should go. Instead, you have intended to show it up for what it is, to seek out the genius of life through unconditional acceptance, instead of judging and fearing, resisting what is as though it were a big mistake, caused by ignorance within. No, you do not seek to hide from love anymore. You have been learning step by step how to embrace it and allow it to embrace you. What a journey you are taking, beautiful, lucky angel. So that feels like a perfect place to close the reading. If you do resonate with my energy, of course, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself, where I post more energy updates, inspiration, and information. Otherwise, if you do want to continue now with me to the extended version of this reading on Patreon, where we will be diving deeper into the messages, the link to do so is in the pinned comment and description box underneath the video. Have an amazing remainder of your day and week, and I will connect with you here again in Monday's reading.